Welcome back, everybody, to River Ave Radio. We got another episode. We're coming off of a series win in two series wins in Texas, one in Houston, one in Arlington. As always, I'm Ryan. Kyle, how we doing today?
I'm doing pretty well. Yankees are pretty awesome right now. We had our gimmick have to lose 9 games thing, and now that we've gotten that out of the way, we can actually be a good baseball team again. And we are a good baseball team right now. Pitching's
Yeah.
awesome. Lineup has problems, but definitely less problems than most people around the league, and those problems seem to be turning it
Mm-hmm.
around. We DFA'd Randall Grichuk. That's always a good day. Every day after DFAing Randall Grichuk is a good day. I remember last year, after we DFA'd Pablo Reyes, I think I was happy for like a week straight. No matter what happened, I always had joy in my life. So
Yeah.
Jason Dominguez is up. We got the Orioles on deck here. Third AL East matchup of the season. We obviously are coming off a successful AL East matchup. We owned Boston. I'm pretty confident that we can at least take 3 out of 4 against the Orioles, but we'll get there later. How are you feeling about this Orioles series coming up?
Good. It's a weird four-game set. They have today off, but they're playing on Monday. They do the four-game series Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but they're doing it on Monday instead of Thursday this time, which is fine. And I'm feeling good. I also expect them to take 3 out of 4 from Baltimore. But I will say this: I think the Orioles have been the second best team in the AL East so far. The AL East relative to expectations has been pretty disappointing. So far this year, I think the Rays have been giving them steady competition for number two, but I think the pitching has held up. The bullpen has actually been, especially the back end, has been pretty elite, and the offense is starting to wake up as well. I think everybody's kind of breaking out of their April slumps at the same time, and so I am not walking into this weekend expecting 4 wins. I think they're going to have to battle, but this
Getting in
team
four
this
game
team is
sweep is hard.
scrappy. Yeah, getting a 4 game sweep against a bad team exactly is hard, but I'm expecting them to battle. And listen, at the end of the day, I'm happy with two. I would be more than happy with three. I'm not even allowing myself to hope for 4 at this point.
It could
Excuse me,
happen.
just something came up in my throat.
If it's going to happen,
Anything
I
could happen.
think I think the main thing that's going to propel us if we do somehow take all 4 games is the rotation. The Yankees have had, I think, objectively the best rotation in baseball so far into the year. They lead the league in ERA, they lead the league in expected ERA, they lead the league by nearly a full win above replacement in WAR. They're at like 4.6. The Dodgers are second at 3.8. Cam Schlittler continues his dominance, had a great start in Texas. Max Fried is basically just as good as he is so far results wise on the year. And that's not even including the people we got coming back soon. So, obviously very exciting.
Yeah, Weathers is starting to wake up. Will Warren has really taken a step up so far this year. He's been a lot better than expected, and they were aggressive. Luis Heel obviously had a really good start, results wise at least, in Boston, but just wasn't able to put it together in Houston for the final game of the 3 game set, and ultimately it resulted in him being sent down to AAA. And Elmer Rodriguez got the start yesterday. And in terms of first starts, I was pretty impressed. I thought, what was it? It was 4 plus 2 runs. You know, you hope for better, but he he sailed through the second and third inning pretty well. I think the first and fourth inning gave him some trouble with the walks and some
Yeah.
command issues, but
I think
room
that
to
he
grow for sure.
was I think he was pretty clearly a little nervous on
Yeah.
his debut. Like I get it. Like he walked like 20% of hitters. Like obviously it wasn't by the numbers like a good start. I'm not going to try to
Right.
convince you that it was a good start. But I'm not out on him at all. Like he is going to
No.
be a very serviceable death guy. He's 22 years old, still very young. He probably is going to go down as soon as Rodon comes back up, and I feel more comfortable with him on the mound than I do with Heel on the mound, and that's really what matters. Like he's not here to replace Cam Schlittler, Max Fried, Will Warren, any of these guys. He's here to replace arguably one of the worst pitchers in all of baseball over the last 2 years. So whatever he can give us is good. Obviously, you want a little bit more length, even if it comes with maybe not so great ERA numbers. But I'm expecting him to kind of turn it around in that area. So first start out of the way. Obviously, very small sample size, but feeling okay about ERC. And he said you can still call him ERC.
So I saw a Jack Curry tweet that said that Elmer Rodriguez and Ryan Weathers were going to go down to the bullpen when Rodon and Cole were back, but I can't find the tweet right now, so maybe I am imagining that. But
I mean, that makes
you were just
sense.
mentioning yeah, it does. And like you were saying before, I mean, Luis Hill just hasn't been a major league starter for since probably the end of 2024, even probably into the latter half of 2024. He was pretty ineffective towards the end of that Rookie of the Year campaign. And yeah, it's like you said, he's not here to replace any of our aces. And it's honestly, to complain about the pitching staff right now would just, I feel, be a little unnecessary. But
Yeah, I definitely do think that Weathers would be a good pen arm. Like he's never thrown more than 100 innings in his career ever. He's had
mhm.
pretty major injury issues. So putting him in the bullpen where he's less likely to explode his arm than bringing him back next year into the rotation if we need him. Like, well, I'm not going to get too off topic and talk about our rotation next year because that's a whole other interesting convo. But regardless, he'll be a super awesome guy to the bullpen. Like he was chucking 100 miles per hour in spring training when he didn't have to throw 6 innings afterwards. So obviously very exciting. I totally agree. It's not worth complaining about the rotation at all, or even talking about them that much more. They're awesome. Not much more to say on
Yeah.
that. The lineup has been relatively good. Jazz, especially, has started to show signs of life. In our sports group chat the other day, before he hit these home runs that he's hit over the last couple of days, we're like, where's the warning light at on Jazz Chisholm? And I think the agreement among us was like, it's at like a yellow. It's not flashing yet, but the
hmm
warning light is on. And he did play some pretty awful defense this series. I feel like he's
Yeah.
definitely a lot better than Glaber was defensively, just as a whole. But he has the same kind of thing where sometimes he screws up the easy ones and makes incredible plays on the really, really hard ones. And
hmm
especially during the Bednar inning, like there was some really rough Jazz moments there.
He he's been like roughing up some Bednar outings this year. I don't know. I was trying to find like the specific. I couldn't find Jazz specific defensive numbers when Bednar was on the mound, but I'd be interested to know because it really seems like all the errors during Bednar outings are coming from second base.
Yeah, it's
But
reasonable.
yeah,
But he's hitting well, which is like what we need from him. If he boots a player or two, like I can stomach that. I can't stomach him hitting like 100 on the year. But in his last seven
yeah.
games, hitting almost 300, above a 300 on base, 600 slugging, it's what you want to see.
I agree. Another batter who's been heating up lately has been Austin Wells. He's not really hitting for average, but he's definitely getting on base in his last 15. He has a 364 on base and a 419 slug, and then in his last 7, he has a 370 on base and a 524 slugging. So those numbers are really starting to come along. And listen, if Austin Wells can be a productive force at the bottom of the lineup, that would really just add like another layer of depth and take that bottom three from like an area of concern where they're striking out a lot, whether it's probably going to be Ryan McMahon, Austin Wells, and Jose Caballero or Austin Volpe, Anthony Volpe, when he maybe comes back, which we should probably talk about that a little bit. Boone was not very confident in his answers when he was asked whether or not Volpe was going to be returning to the team tomorrow. Like I'm not sure if that's as inevitable as people think. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think I was talking to Mike Joe TV about this yesterday. I would say with
Give him a
the
follow on
call up
Twitter.
of George Lombard Jr. to AAA, I think Volpe is probably more on watch with that than Ryan McMahon is. They have a lot of money invested in Ryan McMahon, and if he's playing good defense and Volpe's playing closer to the 2025 level of himself than the 2024-23 version, then I would, and he has options, so, and that would be good for his development. They could send him down, bring Lombard up to be the shortstop. Hopefully he hits. They said when they called him up the other day that they think he's ready to be a major league shortstop at a defensive level, and just time to see if that bat catches up. Which a lot of exciting stuff going on in Yankee land this week. Lombard being called up says a lot about his potential call up to the majors this year, I think.
Yeah. I want to go a little bit back to Austin Wells just before we move on from
Yes.
him.
Sorry, I went
He's
through like five different things there.
No, it's okay. He has actually shown a lot more to me this year than he did last year. Do you know what his walk rate was last year?
I do not, which is disappointing because I talked a lot about this when we first started the show.
It was bad. It was
Yeah, it was.
6% basically last year. He was walking at a 6% rate
That's
last year, and he was striking out 26% of the time.
6.7.
This year, though, walking at 18% and striking out 17% of the time. So he's tripled his walk rate, and he's also cut his strikeout rate by almost 10%. And he's hitting the ball a lot harder. Really, the only thing left for him to click is the launch angle. He's hitting a lot of balls on the ground right now. In his
Mm-hmm.
2024 season, where he was pretty well above average offensively for a lot of that season, he was sitting at about league average in terms of launch angle sweet spot, which is like hitting the ball hard and hitting the ball hard in the air. And this year he's down in like the 13th percentile, so he hasn't gotten anything in the air yet. But launch angle sweet spot is one of those stats that is not predictive. If you have a low launch angle right now, it doesn't mean you're going to have a low launch angle for the rest of the season. And it doesn't indicate to me that there's some sort of mechanical problem that's keeping him from hitting the ball in the air. It just hasn't really happened yet in a relatively small sample. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
definitely very in on Austin Wells right now. I think people comparing him to last year is completely disingenuous. Like, go look at some of his expected numbers from last year. They were awful to match his actual not very good production. It wasn't that he was getting unlucky last year, he just wasn't playing very well. And this year he is getting very unlucky, and I think that that will start to turn around pretty soon.
He was also just making terrible swing decisions as a whole last year. He had some pretty worrying numbers against off speed and breaking pitches specifically. But this year he's been obviously with the tripling of the walk rate and the decreases in the strikeouts, and he's maintaining. I said this way early on in the show. Go back and rewatch our first maybe 5 episodes. We talked about this. Austin Wells was hitting the ball harder in 2025 than he was in 2024, but he was sacrificing swing decisions because of that. Now in 2026, he's combined the two of those. He's hitting the ball harder, striking out less, walking more. Over the course of the season, this is going to be a productive player, especially with the defensive value that he brings as well, which has been elite. I'm pulling up his savant right now. He is the 93rd percentile in fielding run value right now. He's 97th percentile in framing, 87th percentile in blocks. So this is we're looking at maybe an all-star catcher here, and probably not with. I mean, Kirk's missing time. Langoliers
Adley's been
really
good.
hasn't has. Adley's been good. Shea's kind of cooled off from the start of the year. If everyone else is cooling off and Austin Wells is heating up going into voting, could
Yeah,
be.
I think he could very easily be at least top five in the AL this year.
Yeah, without a doubt. I think he's already top five in the AL.
Looking at his like run values per pitch, it's really he's done very well against four seamers, but he's done horribly against sinkers, which also makes me think that that's going to change. It's not that he's doing great against fastballs and struggling against off speed or doing great against off speed and struggling against fastballs. It's that he's had trouble with a specific type of fastball, which generally speaking is not a trend that should continue over the course of a full season. I think actually him not being bad against these off-speed pitches gives me a lot more hope. Last year, like he was just really awful against sliders. Like he could not hit a slider for the life of him. He was -3
Mm-hmm.
run value on sliders and -4 run value on sweepers. He could not hit either of those pitches. This year, sitting at basically around zero on both of those. So all in, Austin Wells, we're on the uptrend. We're predicting good things
Yeah.
for Austin Wells coming forward.
I totally forgot about Dylan Dingler. He's been kind of on a tear, but
Yeah, he is good.
Austin Wells is currently seventh in WAR in the AL, so that is definitely encouraging. And I think he's definitely going to pass Christian Vasquez of Houston, and like Ryan Jeffers. I think he's better than these players, and
Yeah.
I would. You know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm staking a claim. He'll be better than Shea at the end of the year. I think Shea's a Sutter merchant, and Do you know anything about Shea's defensive numbers? Is he
He's actually good at
any got
defense.
anything good?
He's not going to be better than
Mm.
Shea. Go. It,
He's
it's
better than Shea
surprising.
right now.
Like
His
in
field,
terms
I
of
mean, in fielding
WAR,
run
like
value is better.
yeah. Well, Shea can't
Uh,
really frame. He can do everything
in
else
terms
really
of
well.
WAR, no. Shea's tied with Dylan for WAR right now, 1.1.
But
Wells is at
regardless,
zero point 0.6. So, but Wells is top 7, and that's considering a slow start. So, if Austin Wells maybe gets some good luck regression to the mean, maybe we'll be having a different conversation come the summer. But point is, I agree with you. I am predicting to be having those conversations come June and July. I think he's going to be a productive hitter, not even at the bottom of the lineup, probably going to be slotted in the middle of the lineup with the likes of, Jazz and Stanton when he eventually comes back, and Jason. And I think before we move on and talk about the Orioles, there's been a couple ups and downs and injuries. Randall Grichuk, his time with the Yankees is unfortunately over. He was
unfortunately,
DFA'd to
don't
make
even say that
room
as a
for.
joke.
He was DFA'd to make room for Elmer Rodriguez, and Giancarlo Stanton has been placed on the IL, and Jason Dominguez was called up and got a couple innings of playtime, a few plate appearances before he was hit in the hand and removed from the game. And so far, those X-rays are inconclusive. I do not see any updates from anyone on that. So that is inconclusive at the time of recording on Thursday,
I
April
want to
30th.
mention Trent Grisham as well before we move on. He's been probably the most
Yes.
unlucky person I've ever seen in my life. Like he's hitting the ball so hard and just getting nothing out of it. He's also not striking out. He's walking almost 20% of the time. Like yeah, you show me these numbers, you can tell me he has a 600 OPS. Like, damn, that sucks. He's been like
He
the Jesus Luzardo of hitters this year. Just cannot catch a break under any circumstances.
He had the last year he had so last year the lowest qualified BABIP was Eugenio Suarez 243. Do you know what Trent Grisham's BABIP is this year?
It's like 100 or something ridiculous.
I'm pretty sure I'm pulling it up right now.
It's bad, is
It
the
is
point.
second lowest qualified at 145. So that is almost 100 points lower. Like that is simply unsustainable. Even with and I've seen people, people have been joking like Trent got the Ben Rice luck this year. Even if Trent got the Ben Rice luck last year, you're still not going to go through a season with a 145 BABIP. Like
Yeah.
that's just ridiculously unsustainable. I will say though, the launch angle is not good. It's so last year his launch angle sweet spot was 34.6. That was good enough for 52nd percentile. This year it's 26.0. That's the 10th percentile. And his pull error
Same
rate
thing I
is
was
also
saying for
down.
Wells though. Like that will
Yeah,
change. These things will change.
yeah,
Like
it has.
his
And I will say, so his pull air rate. I was looking at this the other day. It's 19.2 right now. I remember I was looking at this maybe 5 days ago, and it was like 17.4. So it's going up and it's getting better, and I'm unconcerned about Trent. And even still, he's putting up good numbers with a really incredible walk rate. He's his 94th percentile walk rates right now, and he's cut down his strikeouts a lot as well. He's in 2025 it was a 23.6% K rate, and now it's an 18.4. So this is still a productive top middle of the order bat, and really I'm unconcerned about the lineup as a whole. I think there's really no one that I have a bone to pick with. I think we're getting to that point in the lineup where, again, I don't hate Ryan McMahon. Like, I can just appreciate him for the defensive specialist that he is.
and he's been relatively
Even
better
though
at the plate recently.
his, his his error led to Trent almost dying the other day.
That was weird. That was the weirdest thing I've
Wait,
ever seen. I thought he
okay.
exploded his
I
knee.
I actually I was gonna say this, and I'm right. He has been not so good on defense last year. So he was
You mean this year?
87th percentile. I'm sorry, yeah, in fielding run value last year. He was and this year he's 32nd in 32nd percentile in fielding run value. So
Yeah, I'm
not
not like
exactly the
super worried about
decreases
the
you want to
defense
see.
yet. Like OAA can really be skewed early in the season, like by making a bad error, and he's had I think two
Mm-hmm.
errors that are just like really awful. And I don't think that type of like boneheaded error will continue, and I think that his numbers will pretty steadily improve. He's made some pretty incredible plays. Like during the Boston series, he
Yeah.
was sliming them like every time.
Hmm.
So Ryan McMahon is not like a great baseball player. I would rather him not be on the team, and we have like a good third baseman, but he's not gonna hold us back from winning a World Series.
Yeah, I agree.
Shall we move
I think
to the Orioles?
I was just gonna say I think that's good on everything from the Yankees. Bullpen concerns are pretty much the same.
Yeah,
Like
the bullpen, like
that.
Fernando Cruz got some strikeouts the other day. David Bednar pitches way
Yeah.
too much, and he hasn't been awesome, but I'm not worried about him. Camilo Doval has a gimmick where he will throw like three batters the nastiest pitches in recorded history, and then give up a 500-foot nuke to the second batter of the order. Whatever,
Hmm.
that'll probably change. He has like a 30% home run to fly ball rate, which is unsustainable. He'll stop giving up so many home runs. So, anyway, let's talk Orioles.
Yeah. Let's talk Orioles. I'm ready.
First thing to note for the Orioles is that Trevor Rogers is on the IL with an illness. Apparently, he just has the flu, but it must be pretty bad.
Isn't he
Like
on the 15-day
he's on the
IL?
15-day IL, so he'll be out for minimum 2 weeks. And so we're definitely not seeing him this week. This just happened a couple days ago.
Hmm.
But I can't think of a single example I've ever heard of somebody getting on the
Yeah, that's
IL for
crazy.
being sick. So feel better. I hope that it's not too bad, Trevor Rogers.
Hmm.
But and we're talking about baseball. We're not going to face him instead. The starters for the Orioles series are a little weird. Not on our side. Our side is fully lined up. We have Will Warren, Ryan Weathers, Max Fried, Cam Schlittler. But on the Orioles side, it's definitely a little weird because they are playing a doubleheader today. Their game yesterday got postponed. So they're throwing Bradish against Will Warren. They're throwing Shane Baz against Ryan Weathers. And then I don't know who they're going to throw against Fried and Schlittler because
Hmm.
they're throwing Bassett today because he was supposed to throw yesterday. So he won't have 5 days rest for the Schlittler game. And they already
Yeah.
just IL'd Rogers, so they're missing that starter who would have gone probably against Fried. So just very, very weird. They're probably going to have to call up somebody for a spot start, or they're going to have to throw a bullpen game. Anyway, all those
Brandon Young
things,
is listed as SP4 right now
yeah, they
on
just called him up
the
recently.
Fangraphs depth chart. Yeah.
But yeah, they're going to need to get creative here, which all of which means more likely that we will be winning the series, which I like.
Yeah. I like that as well. Especially I would like these pitching matchups even if we were getting Trevor Rogers and Bassett. I think that's actually probably beneficial to the Orioles that we won't be
Yeah,
facing
I
either one
wish
of
we could
them.
play Bassett. He's so bad this year.
Uh, the last time we played Rogers, we broke the Magnum ball pretty bad.
Yeah, that was like
Stanton,
kind of the
I'm
end of
pretty
his
I'm pretty sure
run.
Stanton had like a 2 home run, one double night.
Yeah, he
Uh,
was fine. He
I
was
I
on
was
fire.
there. It was a good night, and yeah.
Ryan
So and
Weathers.
and
Oh, like you go, you
yes.
go.
No, I was literally just gonna say the same thing. So you go ahead.
I'll actually start with Will Warren because he's in the first game. Will's looking excellent to start the year. He's thrown a bunch of quality starts. He's going deeper into games than he has in the past, striking people out, all stuff you like to see. Basically, the stuff on all of his pitches are up this year. I saw a very, very interesting thing about that though. So shout out Lance Brodowski, I think is how you say his name. He's on YouTube, he's on Substack,
Hmm.
he's on Twitter. Give him a follow. He was talking about why Will Warren is more effective this year, and he moved on the rubber, like from more in the center of the mound towards the third base side. And to a significant extent, and it's not like a random change, like he just happens to be doing that. Like they're doing this on purpose. And he was saying that that might be a reason why some of the stuff plus values look higher. It's because the movement looks different relative to like what's expected from throwing it down the middle of the plate because it's going from like one side to the
Interesting.
other side basically.
Yeah.
So the stuff plus, which is basically just like how nasty the pitch is, are maybe a little bit misleading, but the results are obviously excellent so far. And I'm pretty excited to see what he has against obviously a much better team than like the Orioles, who he obviously annihilated.
Do you mean the Astros? or the
No, I mean,
Royals.
oh, sorry, the Royals. Royals.
Yeah. Uh, he. I'm trying to look up the exact numbers right now. He pitched really well. I was really impressed with the pitching against the Astros. I mean, the Astros pitching has been like bottom of the league, terrible this year so far. But the offense has really been the best in base, really one of the best in baseball. And Will Warren went 6 innings pitched, 2 earned runs, 6 strikeouts. Like that's a really incredible line for a young pitcher. And Ryan Weathers as well. Pretty sure it was like 5.2, something like that. But really, like that's the bottom of the rotation. We weren't putting out Fried versus Schlittler, and we threw out Luis Heel unfortunately on the Sunday game. But even still, which was so funny because like I think it was like a 4 pitch walk to Carlos Correa, and then he just like blitzed Jordan Alvarez and looked pretty good. And I thought that he was gonna do. I thought that he was maybe just gonna become like a guy who owns our rivals type of thing, but then it got away from him pretty fast, and we say goodbye to Luis Heel. And I felt bad. He like posted about it on Twitter, and he was like, it's hard to keep someone down who works so hard, and I really wish him the best. He was great, and like people forget in 2024 the rotation would have just been in shambles if he didn't step up the way that he did.
Yeah.
And so, we've talked some smack about Luis on this show, but all the best to him, and I hope that maybe he's able to figure it out, and that would be beneficial to the team as well if he rediscovers his fastball and can be effective in a bullpen role. But he is just not a major league pitcher, and people are still coping about the bullpen.
It's not
Just
happening.
let it go, bro.
Yeah.
It's over.
I think that what
but
preseason, what my analysis of Will Warren was, is that he had one of the best fastballs in all of baseball, and his breaking and off-speed
mhm,
pitches were some of the worst of all time. And
yeah,
this year, just how I said, I was like, he has an excellent fastball. All he needs to do is not have the worst breaking balls of all time, and he'll be pretty good. And that's what he's done. Like, his breaking and off-speed pitches have not performed particularly well. They're not above average in terms of results, but they're not so bad that it's killing him. And that's what's most
hmm
important. As long as you're not, like, every time you throw your slider, you're not giving up a nuke, then it's fine. You can work with that.
yeah,
So he's not walking people, which is obviously a big improvement on last year. He's basically cut his walk rate in half. And he's not giving up a lot of barrels, which is a stat that's pretty sticky. Like, that's a stat that'll likely continue. He's getting a decent amount of
yeah.
ground balls, more than he was last year. So, all said, Will Warren looking pretty good. I'm streaming him in fantasy this week, so I really hope he plays well.
Yeah, I took a risk. I streamed him last week against the Astros, and it paid off. And I did that last year, and it didn't work out as well. So
Yes.
I'm glad
Well,
that
you
things
streamed him
seem to
against
be
the
turning out.
Dodgers last
But
year. That was a truly insane decision.
no. I was holding him against the he was
Oh, you were
on the
holding him
team
against
for a
them?
few weeks at that point. He
That
no, he
was
was that was when he was on that streak of a few really good starts. I think I held him. I held him after that as well. I finally drafted him after the Blue Jays game. That was
okay.
enough. Enough was enough.
But this year,
But
maybe it's different.
yeah, maybe.
Maybe I'll hold him
But
now
yeah,
until he blows up.
Weathers is also looking really fantastic so far. We're starting to get more length out of him. Obviously, 8 innings against the Royals, nearly 6 against the Astros. That's kind of two ends of the offensive spectrum there, but relatively similar-ish results. He was able to hold it down. I'm pulling up the actual stats against the Astros right now. Oh, okay, it was 5.1. I was close, not 5.2.
He's
But
already
only
matched
one.
his inning total from last year, basically.
Yeah, I was kind of like holding. I'm very superstitious, and I was kind of holding my breath when he passed the 39.1 innings mark. I thought his elbow was just gonna fall off, but it didn't. So
I'm not superstitious. I'm just a
we're
little stitious.
I'm a little stitious, but yeah, his Ryan Weathers has been fantastic so far this year, and his sweeper. I love it just as much as I did in spring training. It's his best pitch by run value so far. It's got a 58.8% strikeout rate right now, which is
That's
just
good.
absolutely absurd. And That is also, fun fact, the one pitch that Jordan has a negative run value against. So I'm sure that Ryan Weathers was just spamming him sweepers, and good for him. And yeah, he's
Ryan
going up
Weathers
against
just
Shane Baz.
yeah, bad. Shane bad.
Shane Bad, which yeah,
Real
or
human
listen,
beings tried to convince me that he'd be elite this year, bro. I was called
I'm
slurs on
like
Twitter.
Orioles fans are pretty chill on Twitter. Like I've got a lot of Orioles followers, and I don't want to upset them, but people were getting legitimately angry with me for suggesting that he might still be bad, even though he added like a two seamer or whatever in spring training, which I don't even know how that's been going so far. I'm pulling up the stats as we're talking about it right now, but I'm really not worried about the Shane Baz versus Ryan Weathers start. Let's see, run value on his the run value on his four seam fastball is -4 right now, and the run value on his sinker is -1. So for everyone who told me that that he could become a
Dude,
fastball guy or
he
whatever,
was a pro. He was at George M. Steinbrenner Field. Look at his splits, dude. Watch him pitch. He cannot do it. He can't do it. Like genuinely, like he's at George M. Steinbrenner Field, but the wind. Like, dude, if have you not watched him throw his fastball down the middle of the plate 8 pitches in a row? Like, come on, man. Don't give me like this. Like, go look at Shane Baz's heat charts, which is like where the pitches are thrown. Look where he
yeah,
throws his
I'm
four
looking at
seamer,
it right
bro.
now.
He chucks and his cutter. He chucks that shit directly down the middle every single time, and they
Dude,
expect me to
you know what's
believe that
hilarious?
they're not gonna hit it.
His his cutter is literally right down the middle of the plate, and it's actually been his best pitch this year. It's the only one with a positive run value. It's a run value of 5.
I
It
don't
just gets a
understand how
shit
that's
ton
even
of whiffs.
possible. I guess it's because they're
It
expecting his four seamer, which he also chucks down the middle of the plate.
Whatever, man. We
Like
own this guy.
I'm not saying he
One of the
can't be good.
one of the 9 home run games last year was against him. So maybe we could get that again this year. We're at
He's
home,
not
right?
like
Yeah,
the
we're at
worst
home.
pitcher
So
ever. Like I think he's funny. Like he definitely has juice in the tank. He throws
yeah,
the ball hard. A bunch of his expected numbers aren't awful. His
we're
expected
we're
ERA is sitting
haters.
at like a 4. He's not, but like we're talking about like him, like we're talking about him like he's the worst pitcher ever, which obviously isn't true. But I just think it's humorous that Orioles fans thought he would be an ace when clearly at this point in career that's simply not going to happen.
Hmm. Yeah. Uh, so I would love to see Ryan Weathers go up and own him. Max Fried, we talked about him before. So the Orioles are going to be facing two of the leaders in Cy Young voting this year, especially with Garrett Crochet not looking good all year, now on the IL, and Tarek Skubal really not having the dominant season that he was last year. I know you have him in fantasy. Was his velo being down a full game thing, or did that get better as it went along?
Uh, it's it's kind of unclear. Like it did go up as the game went along. He's not chucking like 103 like he showed he could last year. But I posted about this because I was a little concerned. And his velo is more in line with his 2024 season where he also won the Cy Young. So I
Mm-hmm.
would not be that concerned. He had the
Yeah.
really scary for me elbow thing where like in the 6th inning of his start 2 days ago, he like took off his glove and was like grabbing his elbow and he like made the trainers come out. And I was like, "Oh my God, it's over." Like my fantasy season is over and it's week 5. Like it's I'm fucking cooked.
You're like the
But
Mets.
he finished like he apparently he was fine. Like he struck out the next 3 batters and you know who knows what's up with that. But I think it's a reasonable thing to say, not because Tarek Skubal will be bad, but because Schlittler and Fried have just been so good. Like either one of them could
Hmm.
definitely take the Cy Young off of him.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Schlittler, the only thing is gonna be
Schlittler has just
innings.
been. Yeah, I think they're going to put him on an innings count towards the end of the year, but I mean, maybe not. Like he's he's got the X dog and the X grit stats are red hot on Baseball Savant if you go on
Yeah.
the secret second website they have, and he might just go in and pitch a full 200 innings this year because that's what he does, and he's a competitor, and but they might have him on an innings limit. Obviously, we're not going for the innings pitch championship here. We're going for the World Series championship
He's
hopefully.
shown me
And
though
dude,
that I think this is important real quick. He's shown me that
yeah,
he
yeah.
doesn't have to be at like max effort to be good though. Like he can
Hmm.
throw 99 to 100 every pitch like he did in the wild card game or in the first start of the year. Or he could
Yeah.
throw 96 like he has in these last couple starts and he'll still get really excellent results. So I think he's purposely taking a little bit off to not burn out his arm early.
Yeah.
And even when he's taking a little bit off, he still is clearly so unbelievably good that it doesn't really matter. So I think that's is like truly great for projecting him to pitch more innings this year. Because if he had to be throwing max effort every single pitch, I don't think he'd make it past like 150 innings. But if he can throw like maybe 80%, 85% effort, like he has been, or at least what it seems like he has been these last couple starts, and throwing harder when it's in like a high leverage situation, I'm super, super, super moved by that, and I think that'll probably mean that he pitches at least like 180 innings.
The overlay on like his fastball, trying the pitching ninja does it like every time he starts. It's just incredible watching the tunnel together until just like the last second, and then I mean the cutter and the sinker breaks off, and the four seamer just stays high in the zone. Like he's really just a gift to watch. It's just
It's
such
pretty
a
crazy.
fuck you pitcher. Like he's just no curveball, no changeup, nothing but gas.
Nothing but straight
Literally.
gas.
That's Cam Schlittler, and it's been a pleasure to watch, and it's funny like going from it must be crazy as a hitter preparing or as a hitting coach like preparing your philosophy when you're facing the Yankees, facing Fried and Schlittler back to back in the rotation. Like you got Schlittler who throws 3 pitches and Max Fried who throws 7 at high rates. I mean that must just be ridiculous.
It's unfortunate.
This is such a good team. It's such a fun team. If I really, really, really just want this pitching to hold it together the summer,
Yeah.
I mean,
My
it would
least
just
favorite
end.
archetype of pitcher is the pitchers who don't throw it in the zone. Like it's just
Yeah.
painful to watch, and
Hmm.
Schlittler this year is like the opposite of that. He just chucks it in the zone every time, like try and hit it. So much more entertaining to watch than like
Louis
who
Seal.
was it that I despise? Oh yeah, Freddie. Sorry, I can't believe I'm forgetting it. I was literally watching him earlier today. Freddie Peralta on my fantasy team. Just like he throws 7 pitches per at bat, and like only 2 of them will be in the zone, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Like, dude, just like please, for the love of God, just like throw it down the middle once and just see what happens. But
Yeah.
Schlittler does throw it down the middle, and nothing happens.
I think in general the philosophy of this Yankees team is aggressive, and like whether it's with the front office decisions and the pitching. I mean, last year I remember we were talking. That we started this podcast because they were walking everyone and they
Yeah.
weren't throwing it in the zone, and they seem to have fixed that. So this as long as we're alive, the Yankees should just be attacking the zone because we're just gonna keep keeping them honest, and that should do it.
The other three
But
things
yeah,
about the
that
Orioles that we haven't
I
talked
was just
about
gonna
yet
say.
are offense, bullpen, and defense. I want to do the defense real quick just because it's more
Yeah.
related to the pitching than the other ones. The Orioles'
Hmm.
defense is really, really, really bad, and I think it's probably definitely their most like exploitable weakness, especially in the outfield. They're 26th in outfield defense in terms of outs above average. They're at a -5, so they're bottom 5 in the league in outfield defense, and they're 22nd as a team entirely. So their infield is okay, and their outfield is atrocious. So the Yankees obviously hit the ball pretty hard. So I think as long as they can just consistently get it into the outfield, they'll probably have a good time. And I think because of that, you should probably expect them to be pretty aggressive early in counts against these Orioles pitchers. Bradish has had a lot of trouble throwing strikes throwing strikes, and when he does throw a strike, it's usually down the middle. So I think the Yankees will be probably sitting first pitch strike every time against him. And they could probably have a decent amount of success doing that.
Hmm.
Obviously, that's kind of like a high risk, high reward thing we saw in the playoffs. Like they were either being really passive and getting in bad counts, or they're swinging and grounding out every pitch. But
Right.
either way, it'll either work or it doesn't. I don't know. But
Hey, I mean, listen, it's May.
the Orioles offense, they actually, while we were filming, they've hit 2 grand slams against the Astros. The Astros team ERA just keeps going
Damn,
down, bro.
dude, like, what are they doing?
It's
They're
not
they're
it's not
chucking
good.
it down the middle and hoping that and telling people to hit it,
And
but
they're
the only
doing it
difference is
and they're
they
hitting it.
they do.
The Orioles offense before today, I'm sure they're probably up to like 8th or 7th now. We're in 9th in
Yeah.
WRC plus. They hit a lot of home runs, 12th in home runs, 12th in walk rate. They don't strike out a ton, basically the same amount as the Yankees. They're not like a truly scary offensive team. Like the Yankees are a better offensive team than them. Like the Astros are better, the Dodgers are better. They're not like top 3, but they're very good. They're a little top heavy just in the sense that like Semu Basayo was good. Gunnar Henderson has been hitting for power recently, which you look at his OPS, like it's pretty decent. He's either going to hit a home run or he's not going to do much as of
Hmm.
right now, but hitting home runs, score runs. Basayo
Right.
has been getting a lot better recently. Pete has kind of turned it around. He had a truly awful first month, but this is nothing new for him. He's pretty streaky in his career. Adley specifically has been incredible, which is kind of concerning. I thought like his career was kind of over, but maybe not.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you
Samuel
think?
Basayo has actually been like ridiculous in the past couple weeks. So in the last 30 games, he's hitting with a 333 on base and a 468 slug. But do you know his slugging in his last 7 games? And
I do
I
not.
don't know if this maybe is updated to today, but I doubt it. It's an 826.
Damn.
He's hitting 478 average. So he's really heating up in the middle of that order. Pete has, he's been pretty decrepit to start the year. I'm not gonna lie, and Gunner's been average enough. But I agree with you. I think it is a pretty top heavy lineup. Actually, you know what? I'll say Taylor Ward has been a pretty nice addition to that lineup. He's been productive. But yeah, the bottom Kobe
I
Mayo
totally forgot about
is
Taylor Ward.
is as bad as everyone said he was going to
Dude,
be.
that
And
guy on Twitter
I,
that thought he would be better than Ben Rice.
oh my god, yeah, dude, if you're listening, like, and I like, okay, so there's this guy on Twitter who bet me some money or whatever that Kobe Mayo was going to be better than Ben Rice, and I tweeted at him like the other day after Ben Rice was hitting like his 5th home run in 5 games or whatever, and I was like, how you feeling about this? And he was like, having a great weekend in Seattle. Hope you're doing well. And I'm like, fuck you. Like, you don't hit me with that. Oh, I'm enjoying my life, and here you are, focused baseball. Your Twitter handle is the Kobe Mayo Collector. All right,
Dude, he
you
has
don't
like
get to pull
every
this. You don't get to
Kobe
pull
Mayo
this
thing
high
possible.
ground shit on me.
That was
You
hilarious.
will be sending me $10 at the end of the season.
Dude, he's gonna block you. He's not sending you any funds. But
That
yeah, Kobe Mayo
that
sucks.
that is worth millions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's honestly, but
Anyways,
yeah, definitely getting blocked instead of him admitting he was wrong is probably worth more than the $10 you would have earned.
$10 without doubt. Yeah. But
Regardless, their
yeah,
bullpen has been
moving on.
the best part of their team so far. They don't have a great
Really, actually
ERA,
elite.
but like they got some real demons in there. Like they signed Ryan Helsley to be their closer. He's been like not unhittable, but he's been very good. He's striking out a ton of people. He's throwing hard. Definitely definitely done with the Mets BS he was doing last year.
Hmm.
And it's really there's like two set of guys that have impressed both of us. I think it's Andrew Kittredge and Rico Garcia. If you want to talk a little bit about them.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, both of their savants are just blood red. Andrew Kittredge has a 0 ERA right now, and that's not like some bullshit. His expected ERA is 0.58. Rocking him and Garcia are rocking a 33.3 strikeout percentage. Rico Garcia, his ERA is 0.68, but he is sitting at nearly a 40% whiff rate. So I mean, these two setting up for I would say they are more unhittable than Ryan Helsley is. Like I would be more worried about the sixth, seventh, and eighth innings than I am about the ninth. If it's Kittredge, Garcia, Helsley, I think our best chance to win it is either at the start facing a weak rotation or maybe at the back end facing Helsley. But this is not to say that Helsley has been bad by any means. I just think relatively he's probably been the worst of that group. But
We talked about this going into the season, but Kittredge is 36 years old, and over the last literal decade, he has been the best person in baseball at getting chases.
Yep.
And that's not an opinion, that's just a fact. Like he's been basically 100th percentile in chase rate for the last 10 years. So he's old, but he's still very good. He still throws relatively hard for how old he is. He's still throwing like 95 at 36, which is
Hmm.
impressive. Rico Garcia, hilarious, hilarious, hilarious baseball story because the Mets DFA'd him for some reason. He was good for them last year, and they just got rid of him for
Dude,
no reason. And their
and
bullpen
now
sucks now.
Brazabon pitches every time I check in on the game.
At least like
It's
Huascar
hilarious.
Brazabon like has some juice in the tank, but like they're throwing like Brooks Raley and Luke Weaver out there now. Like it's over. Like if only they
They-
had
They're
a
they're
guy
gonna
that
kill
gave up
Frank,
has
dude.
given up like 2 hits on the year in their bullpen.
Yeah,
Lol Mets, bro.
whatever. Low Mets.
They're g- they're
Mendoza
gonna
doesn't
they're gonna
survive
lose to
the month.
the gritty Nats again today.
Dude, getting swept, like, I'm sorry, if you get swept by the Rockies and then lose the series to the Nats, you
At home.
gotta get fired.
At
You
home.
gotta get fired.
They actually
Ethically,
okay.
you gotta get fired.
They took the lead, so the Mets are winning 4-3.
Okay, all right.
But whatever. This isn't a Mets podcast. We laugh at them. We don't do Mets analysis unless we're
Mm-hmm.
playing them. I
Soon,
don't have
the
a
Subway
ton else
Series
to
is coming
say
up.
other than hating on the Mets.
Yeah, I would say just moving on to predictions, I guess. Get to the starters. This bullpen is without a doubt the best part of this team, and it won't be difficult. Especially, we're getting pretty lucky with the starters that we're facing. So I think if you and we don't really know who even the third and fourth starters are going to be. So, and it's likely going to be a spot start from someone from the minors or a bullpen game. So, and listen, I mean the bullpen is the strength of this team, but once you get down the depth chart, it's like
Yeah, it's
if they're
really
going for they don't have a bullpen full of Andrew Kittredges. Like
it's the
it's
top of the
late
bullpen that's elite.
Yeah,
The like as I said, like their ERA's bullpen's like 4. So really, as long as you can get to them before the 7th inning, it's not a good bullpen. You just have to get the starter
yeah.
out of there before then.
Which the Yankees take a lot of pitches, and they've gotten a lot more aggressive at swinging in the zone. That sort of passive bullshittery they were doing at the start of the year is dead and buried. It seems like so.
Thank God.
I'm excited for a big offensive season. I'm excited for a big offensive series from Judge. He always does really well against the Orioles, and he's
He's
really
been
heating up
hot
right now. I think
recently too.
he's entering his May hit 400 for 2 months
It's hilarious that
kind of
he has like
stretch.
he's in his last 15 he has a 431 on base and a 706 slugging, both of which would be worse than his like season average from like a year or two ago. So
Yeah,
I expect those numbers honestly to go up as he gets hotter.
yeah, without a doubt. Oh, you know what? Keep talking. I want to do it. I want to do a check about something. Give me your prediction. Give me your prediction.
Prediction.
Give me your prediction on record and one thing you want to see from a Yankee this series.
I think that of any series we're going to play the Orioles this year, this is the one to really take advantage of. They have 2 basically spot starts coming up. They're going to have probably a bullpen game in one of these games, and Bradish has really not figured it out yet, and neither has Baz. So I'm predicting a 3-1, but if there's any time to sweep a 4-game set, this is definitely it. The Orioles, I really, really doubt are going to get any weaker than they are right now. I think people are just their injured guys are going to come back. They're gonna figure Bradish and Baz will probably get better as they improve as they move deeper into the year. So I'm predicting 3-1, hoping for a sweep. Obviously, the thing I want to see is jumping on these pitchers early. I want to see them get Baz out of the game by like the 4th inning. I don't want him to see the 5th inning.
I agree. I think you really they're really hot right now. The Red Sox are still losing. The Blue Jays are starting to get their injured pieces back, and you just really want to take advantage of the opportunity to make up some games, especially within the AL East. I want to see 3-1. That's my record prediction. I'm with you in the same boat. You're probably going to get a spot start, a bullpen game, and you're getting the back end of this rotation either way. So if they can, if they lose the Bradish game, it's not the end of the world. I would say he's the best pitcher in that rotation right now. especially with Rodgers on the IL with the super
The
flu, I
thing.
guess, and yeah, the thing, and yeah. So I would like to see Bednar's velocity come back, and I would only like to see him once. Like I want to see velocity. I want to see Bednar in game 3 or 4, and I want to see him pump in like 2025, where his fastball was kind of at, because that velocity drop is starting to concern me, especially with how much they're using him.
Yeah.
But
What were you checking
do you
up
have any
on?
more predictions?
I don't.
Okay, I tweeted about this, and this is going to become a regular thing throughout the rest of the season. Ben Rice 2026 versus Juan Soto 2024. The series. We're starting now. Juan Soto
You're
2024.
you're asking for bad things to happen with this shit, bro.
I don't. Yeah,
You
yeah.
claimed you were
Because right now,
superstitious earlier on the show, and then you're doing this.
yeah, no. Because listen, so here's how I think it works. I think once you have a thought of something like this, and you try and like anti-jinx it, where you're like doing the like, oh, Ben Rice is just gonna slow down, like then you're just trying to trick the universe, and you can't do that. So
You're
you
right.
might as well own it.
Can't
And
do
so I tweeted about this a week ago, and it's been about 10 more games. So just going into it, Juan Soto, 2024 at this point had played 31 games to Ben Rice's 30. Juan Soto's WRC plus was 190 to Ben Rice's 211. Ben Rice's walk rate 17.2. Juan Soto's 17.4, so about the same there. The on base percentage, Juan Soto's 438 to Ben Rice's 443. The slugging, Ben Rice 714 to Juan Soto's 581. So you could argue that Ben Rice starting out in 2026 has been better than Juan Soto was up until this point. And April Juan Soto was some of the most I enjoyed watching sports ever. Did he Was that the Giants series? He hit the home run off Duvall.
I don't
No,
know what
that was
month
later.
that was in.
That was like June. That was that was
I
like
think that was
June,
earlier.
but maybe I don't know. But yeah, like it was just. I remember Paul
No,
O'Neill
you're right.
saying on the broadcast like this.
That was the very beginning of June.
Paul O'Neill was like, this just keeps getting more and more fun, and he was right, and it's right about Ben Rice too. He has been an absolute force in front of and behind Aaron Judge in the lineup. I want to keep seeing Ben Rice in front of Aaron Judge. I think it forces pitchers to throw fastballs in the zone. Ben Rice has gotten a lot better against breaking and off-speed stuff, but he still just absolutely destroys the fast stuff, and it forces pitchers to be a lot more aggressive when you got Aaron Judge. Which somebody walked Ben Rice to face Aaron Judge the other day. I was like, this is just incredible motion, dude. I mean, it's as someone who was like, I was in the bleachers in 2024, the Saturday game against the Dodgers, when Tommy Kahnle gave up a grand slam, screaming about how they needed to start Ben Rice.
And here we are.
I feel I'm being rewarded. Like this is what I deserve. So
You do deserve this.
This is the first check. We'll check in about 10, 15 more games. But right now, Ben Rice has been on an equivalent, if not better, level to 2024 Juan Soto.
All right.
Juan
Anything else to say
dearly.
before we tab out of here?
No. Win 3. Let's keep it rolling.
Win 4. Win 4.
Win 4. Win 4. All gas, no breaks.
Amen.
Amen. Good night, everyone. Like, subscribe, follow, comment,
All the business.
all the other stuff.
And we'll see you soon.
Is.
Go Yankees.
We'll see you soon. Go Yankees. Oh, wait.